Hey guys, and welcome to yet another speed build. Happy Sunday. How are we all doing? I hope your week has gone well, I suppose. But yes, I'm back again with yet another speed build. This time we are doing an apartamento in San Myshuno. I did have another build planned for today, but I want to take my time with that, so I decided let's do a snazzy apartment, because we are working our way through San Myshuno kind of intermittently. It's not like the main focus, but definitely trying to redo every single apartment in San Myshuno for the save file. So I need to pick up on that save file again, because I need to do Brightchester. I think we lost a little bit of steam when it came to Brightchester, but hopefully we can pick that back up again. So yes, this apartment is a 17 Culpepper house. I had a very clear vision. Well, I thought I had a clear vision. I don't know what happened to me, but I thought I had this clear vision of like light woods, it being light and airy. So you'll see that I've put in this kitchen, well, the kitchen, and it's in oat. Well, that's the colour we call it. We call it oat. And, you know, I was like, yeah, this could be great. This is going to be light wood. We're going to be light and airy and blah, 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 blah. And then just the longer I went, the further away from light and airy we got. I don't know what it was. I was just kind of fighting it. I don't know why I thought I was going to do a light and airy apartment, because I'd actually been searching for maybe just a nugget or two of inspiration. I think I found like this London apartment listing or something, and I was like, oh, I quite like the way they've done the kitchen. It was like kind of like an L shape, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. You can fit everything in, it's just an L, and then you have a table. So that's kind of where I got the inspiration for the shape of this kitchen. But then I don't think it was super duper bright. I'm not too sure. And then there was another apartment I looked at, and it was just a 3D visual. It wasn't actually a real life apartment. And that one I think was super duper dark. And I feel like I said to myself that's what I wanted, but I came into the game and just started building light and airy. Yeah, so you will see I'm still trying to force the whole light and airy thing at this point in time, but slowly but surely I give in to that dark side and we go super duper dark. Well, I wouldn't say super duper dark, but dark and kind of cozy. We end up having this Asian influence in the apartment. I think it was, I put down the Art Deco rug by Felixander, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna have a little slight Asian twist. Believe it or not, the dividers that you see there are from the bathroom, and those were definitely influenced by Japanese interiors. So there was definitely a Asian influence anyway in some of the stuff that we'd already done, both for the kitchen and for the bathroom. So I just rolled with it. So it's modern, but it has a Asian little tiny spin on it a little bit, which is actually what they try to do with San Myshuno. Maybe not quite the same kind of Asian interpretation as I had, but yeah, theirs is kind of a bit more bright colours, kind of a louder version and mine's a slightly more subdued version. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I think it's, oh my god, I can't remember the price of this, but there is a link in the first line of the description. There is always a link on my CC Field builds with a link to the Tumblr post. There I detail what sets you need in order to have this show up properly in your game. So just off the top of my head, I actually remember this. You're going to need the bathroom, you're going to need the kitchen, you're going to need, I'm sure there's one other set of mine. I don't think it was might be the 5k follower gift. I think it might be. And then by Felixander, his Art Deco set and also his colonial set. Those are the two sets you need. So I've actually been pretty restricted on this. This took me actually 2.5 hours, which I think you now know what my struggle was with all these colours. I think I changed the kitchen like cabinet colours maybe 10 times. But I've kept all of that in, so you can see I'm still trying to make it light, and then I've got like these dark cabinets over the top. I would love, I think we've said to ourselves, if the kitchen does break, like with a patch, you don't know what future patches have. If the kitchen does break sometime, we are going to add in, well, I personally will make sure that the medium wood tone from the bathroom is then carried into the kitchen, because that's the one colour I miss. Actually, we also did a light wood tone as well, so we were kind of using oat as the light wood tone for the kitchen. But when we got to the bathroom, we had oat, and we had a light wood, and we had a mid wood tone. So we added in like 2 extra wood tones, which I just think were kind of lacking in the kitchen. But don't worry, there will maybe be other kitchens in the future from either of us or together that will have those wood tones in. So yeah, I'm just, the kitchen is great and everything, but I think we need more. That's all I'm gonna say. So yes, here we are. I'm just trying to do the floor plan here. I definitely want to use these dividers, of course, the Asian influence. At this point there was no Asian influence. They were just, hey, they're dividers and they look kind of cool, but it's only when I finally got the rug in that I switched over into just embracing that, and I got to use my favourite floor because I love it. I have done the apartment next door, which was 18 Culpepper house, and I was very much aware that I restricted myself to using only concrete on the floor because, believe it or not, the plan for this apartment was to recreate an industrial starter apartment like I'd done, I think, within the first few months of me starting my channel. I did an industrial starter apartment, and that was the first kind of hugely successful video that I had, and I always thought I was going to kind of recreate it with my current CC that I use. And I did not. I went with this one instead. So yeah, this was meant to be a starter one. I got rid of the gremlin lot trait as well on this apartment, so don't worry, nothing will break. So this has no lot traits whatsoever. You can put whatever lot traits you want in here and you will live a very happy life. I know that the other apartment that's in this block is like the 2-bedroom, I don't know, I think it's a starter apartment actually. 2 bedrooms, and it has a little balcony and stuff. But it has the needs TLC trait, which I really wish they would patch in, that you can get rid of that, because I don't feel like you should have to have an apartment that needs TLC all the time. Like real life, you can upgrade whenever the hell you like, so I don't get why in the game you have to be restricted by needs TLC. It would be great if you could just take that off like some of the other, I think all the other lot traits you can take off. I think the only other lot trait you can't take off is called quiet, which I don't get why you couldn't take that off. It's a quiet apartment, so you don't get disturbed by neighbours. You never have to worry about going to knock on a neighbour's door and complain about the noise, which is a weird trait to kind of lock in place. It would be nice if you could just put that on any other apartment. That would be nice, but yeah, anyway, so we've switched over to our Asian influence. The red Barcelona chair, and it's just, yeah, we have hints of red throughout the apartment, but not like a harsh, kind of garish red. We keep it muted, and I don't think I've got to use that chair in the red yet, and I was just like, oh, okay, let's embrace the full-on dark side now, and we put dark bricks on the wall. I was always planning to actually do the bricks that were on the outside, but the bricks are like bright red, and I'm like, oh no. We don't need those. So I've used these. I think these bricks are from Realm of Magic. So yeah, I really like those. I think the other ones that I possibly could have used from Get Famous. And I think I end up putting blinds around off camera at the end. I think I stopped recording. I didn't quite know what to do in the entranceway, and then I was like, no, okay, well, let's just stop recording. I stopped recording, and then I went around and just put in like a few extra finishing touches. But yeah, so today is Sunday. You guys get to watch this, and also I'm going to spend the day planning, researching all of the builds that are going to be coming up on the channel in the next month. A lot of you still go on about the London townhouses. Don't worry, I was just waiting for the London the London collection to be released by Felixandra because I knew it was happening. So we're gonna kind of go into those townhouses and update them. But first, before I can go back to the London townhouses, I need to finish off the first house that's part of the build club, which was the Craftsman. So we're going to finish that off. Then we're going to move on to the London townhouse because I don't want to have two kind of real-time series at the same time. Those are kind of like interspersed with my speed builds, if you get what I mean. And yeah, I've got another tiny living build coming that is going to basically showcase the bathroom and showcase the extra windows that I put in for release. So I won't, if you don't know what they are, I won't say it, I won't spoil it for you. But yeah, that's what I needed for this build that I had in mind. So I have to do that. That will be out next week. And I have listed up on the community tab asking you guys for any suggestions because I am planning out the next month's worth of builds. So if you haven't done already, feel free to go to the community tab and leave your suggestion. Oh my god, okay, storm is coming in. I don't know if you heard that, but my entire computer flickered and then there was a massive crash of thunder outside. Yeah, in London today it is Storm Kiara. Welcome, honey. And I think it's like winds of like 80 miles per hour. Flights have been cancelled everywhere and fun times, not for nobody. So yeah, that's I hope that you actually heard that sound because it was petrifying in real life. But yeah, so as I was saying before, and I got distracted by thunder, if you want to leave a suggestion of a build you'd like to see in the next month or so, please leave it in the community tab and I will be going through those. I'll definitely be acknowledging all the ones that I've read, so I'll be leaving a heart on them so you know that I've read it and all that stuff. Yeah, so because I've come to the end of my list of builds, I'm just like, oh no, I hope I don't go through like a creative like dry spell. I've really wanted to do some kind of traditional build using Felixandra content, and I just can't find the inspiration that triggers something in me. Oh, actually, no, I'm totally lying. I realized there was something. No, I do have one thing using that kind of content in my head already, apart from the London townhouses. So yeah, that's gonna be coming, but I don't know. I'm just like, I feel like I've seen everything and maybe I just need to go through. There's also a few like unfinished builds I have. I might as well just say it's basically when I don't know if any of you guys played the game called Anno. And it was Anno 1800 came out and I was obsessed, played it for hours and hours and hours. And then I decided to do a build on it and I started, it was like the farmer's house. So it's really, really cute. It's a build that only had Plum Bob Tea Society in it. I think I could even do it without Plum Bob Tea Society, to be quite honest. It's not really a requirement. I think the only thing I've used in there is like moss coloured stepping stones or something from the Plum Bob Tea Society. Everything else could be like the laundry day stuff like and that. And I found it on my hard drive and I'm like, oh, I should finish this off, so maybe I'll actually finish off a half finished build. There's also another one called Paris Gardens. I don't know if you guys remember this. It's got a gorgeous exterior, but it needs one ginormous interior, so it is one heck of a job. There's like, it's two buildings. One of them is going to be a art deco restaurant slash bar over multiple levels, and then the other side is going to be like this Parisian, I think I was going to make it like a spa or something on the bottom floor, and then the top floor, well, the top two floors have a apartment in there, which I'd actually already started. I think I'd done one level and I did it on a live stream before. But yeah, as much as I love the building, it's really, really difficult to go back to builds that you've kind of stopped doing for a while. It's just like your train of thought just drops off and you go, whoops, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, talking back to this apartment, this bed here was totally inspired by my bed in real life. I have this IKEA bed that actually has horizontal, not vertical slats, and then has 3 shelves at either side of my bed. And it's not in this colour at all. It's in a light, I think is it beechwood or birch? I don't know. One of the two. But I did the kind of dark version for this place, and I must say I need this bed. Like, I keep on doing this bed, this kind of cantilever bed, using the kitchen shelves. It's fully functional, by the way, just in case you're wondering. It's literally, if I make sure that the shelf, you know, when you have an object, it has a square and it has an arrow coming from it, it kind of shows you where the sim is going to access it and where it's playable from. As long as I put that arrow towards the wall and not to the outside of the bed, your sims can completely use it, and they just don't recognize that there's a shelf there, so it's fine. They use the mattress perfectly fine. If I rotate it 180 degrees, it would be like, meh, meh, you can't get in this bed. So I'm glad I found that out. Lots of times now I've figured out for pathing issues, like sometimes maybe my plants have the arrow pointing towards the outside, and then your sim can't get past the plant and the bed if it's close. I'm like, this is like plenty of space, but it's simply because the arrows are both pointing towards each other, so you've got less space. So I'll just end up pointing the arrow for the plant to the wall instead of pointing it out into the room, so you just get the maximum space for the bed, which is really weird because a plant is a plant and it really doesn't matter where the arrow is pointing to. It's really, I don't think you can even view plants, can you? Like plants are different to artwork you can go and look at and view, but plants you can't even do anything to, so I don't know where they even have that arrow bit where you interact with them. But yeah, so this place is just 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. Of course we have this ginormous walk-in closet because that's what everybody needs, obviously. And at this point I kind of was also like, I normally at least do a study in my 1 bedroom places, like there's at least a kind of study point. But what I did is I was like, oh, we have laptops in the game now, so I end up just putting a laptop on the dining table, so you still have that. And of course we don't even have to put in a full bookshelf, because now you've got the bookshelf decor that you can use as bookshelf decor, the book decor that you can now use as a bookshelf, and that's what we've got there right next to the TV. So you've got the bookshelves, you can get all your books you need, and you've got a computer, which I think is kind of, I always start off with the computer. There's not many other creative or skill building things in here, but of course you can put them in wherever you like. It's customizable to you. And now we're going into the bathroom. So actually, I said I wasn't going to say anything, but of course, I don't know if you noticed this, there's windows all over the bathroom, but from the inside of the bathroom they are clear, but from the outside they are glass. That was the additional thing I put into the bathroom set. It does require Get to Work for them to be functional. I tried to make them both good and it didn't work. So yeah, no, you're like, oh my god, it's so not private, but it is private, because from the outside, from the living area, it's just mirrors, just a wall of mirrors, but from here, it's beautiful windows out into there. So that was the thing. The only thing is, this effect is not possible on doors. So you'll see I've got the door there and it's still clear, so that's a bit of a disappointment. It's just that the doors don't animate properly with mirror on them. I'm sure there is probably a way that they could make that happen, but it's going to need the Sims team to do that first before I can do it. They're just, if you put the mirror effect on the door, I think when the door opened, the mirror would just still be there. It just doesn't move. The way the game is set up, the mirrors have to be flat. They can't be, I think Felix mentioned once he tried to do mirrors at different angles, hoping that we would like reflect different areas, and they didn't. They just all still reflected the same point. So, angles don't really show up on mirrors. So yeah, that's the thing. Also with those mirror windows, you also can't use them, well, you can use them on diagonals, but they don't have a diagonal mesh. I'm sure they still let you place stuff that doesn't have a diagonal mesh on, yeah, they do on diagonals. They don't have a diagonal mesh, so they won't stretch to the diagonal width. That's simply because the item that I cloned from Get to Work doesn't have that. It doesn't allow for diagonal placement of the windows. Well, not diagonal placement. Basically, if you don't know, in the game, for lots of the windows and doors, they have a mesh for when it's on a straight wall, regular right-angled wall, and then they also have another mesh that gets enabled when it's on a diagonal wall, because diagonals, one tile of a diagonal is like 1.4 something, and one tile on a straight is 1. So it's basically like 50% extra width. For all the other windows, there is 2 meshes for it, but for the window ones there isn't, because there is no place for me to put it. They don't allow it. But anyway, yes, we're on to this last little section, the entranceway, and I'm kind of still going by and putting stuff, and I saw this light feature and I was like, oh, maybe I could put it somewhere, you know, when you're just like, please let me find somewhere to put that. And I end up putting one in the bathroom. I think I put one in the bedroom as well, which is from City Living. So the City Living items work perfectly with this. I also love that artwork that is above the console table. Any chance I get to use the artwork, I do. I've also found, I went searching on the gallery for more artwork that isn't CC that I can use for my builds, and I found some like really amazing abstract patterns, and it was like a collection. It was almost like it was already prepared as a gallery wall. So I just need a build to put that in. But yeah, I went searching. It was going to be for this one, but the build just took on a completely different vibe to what I thought it was. So yeah, there's going to be screenshots. Just a pre-warning, the place does not look great in screenshots, I've got to tell you, because it's a small area, and when you try and take screenshots of these apartments, the camera goes flying if you're outside the apartment. It's really, really difficult to take pictures. So yeah, warning, they don't look that great. But it's a great look and build, what can I say? Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back very, very soon. Bye guys.